Hello and welcome to another episode of the Opportunity Podcast. I'm your host, Greg, the head of marketing at Empire Flippers, and today I am speaking with Eitan Koter, one of the co-CEOs of Vimmi, that helps you explode when it comes to social e-commerce. So I'm talking about TikTok, talking about Meta, and using video in such a way where you can see some real crazy increases. We talk about a couple of his clients, including one that sells furniture that saw, I think he said like a 50x increase or something dramatic that came from just them implementing and being consistent with a video strategy on just TikTok alone. And so video, as you all know, is the one of the best formats for content in general to do really anything with. So this podcast, I think, is going to be very, very useful for all of you. And we delve deeper, much deeper than normal, I'd say, whenever I hear podcasts about this topic, about the actual emotional aspect of creating these videos, whether you're B2B or B2C. No sell, in my opinion, happens without an emotional decision first. And that is very, very important if you are going to go create videos that actually convert viewers into customers. So with that said, I'll stop talking and I will see you on the other side. All right, I am here with Eitan Koter, the CEO of Vimmi. We were talking a little bit offline about what you do with e-commerce video, but before we get into that, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you are in the world.
Yeah, Greg, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, I'm in the business for almost more than 2 decades, the internet world, and specifically around video, right? So I started in video when we used to call it broadcast. This is before streaming, before iPhone, before everything,
The
right?
old
So
days, yeah.
cable networks, satellite networks, and I saw all this amazing transition of video that primarily was used back then for media and entertainment use cases, right? And the amazing transition from traditional networks to IP, and obviously later for streaming, right, for millions. And it was amazing to see how video works very, very well on unmanaged networks, because internet is a public network that no one really manages. And we are able to guarantee quality of experience in video streaming. And this just opened whole, more of opportunities for video. And video started to be very, very important in so many different use cases, obviously medical, security, et cetera. But we saw an opportunity around 12 years ago in video streaming for media entertainment, and we launched Vimmi together with my partner. We are focusing on developing, we're a technology company, a SaaS company in the video streaming space. And the last 3 or 4 years already, since COVID, right, with all the businesses, I mean, brick and mortar business couldn't open, and there was this explosive rush to the internet and just try to sell through the internet. And obviously video was a very good, I would say, vehicle or fuel just to accelerate sales and use video in a variety of availabilities and options to enable shoppers out there just to shop through video. So we started as in the traditional media and entertainment space, and then transition to commerce and e-commerce and retail. And today we work with brands primarily and retailers and helping them accelerate sales through the power of video.
So I want to get into a bit of the background, but before we do, just so my audience knows, tell me a bit about Vimmi. So you're helping e-commerce brands use video, but give me the highlights of it. Like what kind of main types of videos, I guess, are you helping these brands with?
Traditionally, obviously, since TikTok came to our life, right, we have this TikTokification effect with short form videos that is just booming all over. It started with some specific niches like cosmetics or fashion, gadgets, but now we see 4 or 5 figures sales on TikTok Shop, right? So it's available across all the entire array of niches out there. But video primarily was used for increasing brand awareness, to work probably with influencers just to gain more market share, with the relevant influencers. And we talk about specific type of video, which is a shoppable video or video that converts. And it can come in few forms. It can be a long form video, those horizontal video that we usually see on web, on YouTube. It can be short form videos, but it can also be live video. So in our platform, we manage all type of videos, but we make them interactive. Interactive means there is a call to action in the video player itself that says something like buy now. And when you click on that button, it opens an add to cart iframe or a page that you can just complete the purchasing process from within the video. We call it video checkout.
Does that work on social platforms too, or just on the website?
Exactly. So it works. Obviously, we are very easy to embed video players from Vimmi in your own storefront, whether you work on Shopify or any others. And if you want to enjoy the benefit of social commerce and give shoppers the ability to purchase, whether spend time, like in social media, whether it can be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, we have integrated a lot of APIs and a lot of technology have been developed to enable checkout processes within those type of environments. And each one of those platforms is working differently. For example, in the Meta ecosystem with Instagram and Facebook, we are able to send kind of an automated link to purchase if someone clicks a hot word. So think about a message that you see on the video that says type buy, and we will send you a link to purchase. And what happens when you type buy in the chat, it can be on Instagram or in Facebook, it can be live and on non-live, right? Pre-recorded content that you upload. The system will automatically send you a link to your DM on Messenger on Facebook or to DM on Instagram. And that link is shoppable. You can just click the link and complete the checkout within the Meta ecosystem. Okay, we don't need to redirect you back, going out from Instagram, going back to the website, which create a lot of frictions and a lot of drops in terms of conversion. So trying to that shoppability as frictionless as possible, just the minimum number of clicks, because we know e-commerce works on impulse purchase behaviors, and you see something you want to buy, so you just type a word or you just click a button and then you can complete the purchase. And each one of those platforms has a different way to implement shoppability. These APIs are changing every day, and all those platforms are highly encouraging purchase, but they're highly encouraging video, right? Because video is a form of media that just takes longer to digest and to view, and it takes longer time for you to stay on this platform, which obviously the platform owners are very, very happy with.
Right. Yeah, they don't want you to leave. But that's why I asked if it works on the social
Yes.
platforms. That's
Yes.
fascinating. I think before we go deeper into that, obviously I have a lot of questions about that. But I mean, you've been in this game for a while. So when it comes to social commerce in general, how have you seen it evolve over time? Maybe start with defining what is social commerce. Just for
Yeah.
context, a lot of my e-commerce crowd that listen to this podcast, they're SEOs, so now they're learning a lot of the social stuff. So maybe define that and how it's kind of evolved to where we're at today.
Yeah. So social commerce is the ability to purchase from within the ecosystem or the application of those social media networks, right? Without going out of their platform to purchase on the brands.com website, using Apple Pay, Google Pay, or a variety of checkout mechanisms that are already embedded into your mobile phone, right? So it's the ability to probably check out with Amazon Prime or check out with Apple or check out with any other clearing company that is already approved and you are signed up to. This is one thing. So the idea is that, like 10 years ago, you put advertising on Facebook and you know that it converts back to your website, and you can work on CRO and conversion rate optimization on your website, and you can create amazing results. But this doesn't work like that anymore. I mean, we know that we spend a lot of money across socials. The return on ad spend are not as it used to be because of many things, right? It's more competitive, changing of behaviors all over, Amazon getting a lot of popularity. So it's very difficult to acquire new customers to your own website, although you must continue to do that. But why not, giving the users the opportunity, those potential shoppers, the opportunity to purchase, well, they spend a lot of time, like hours every day, right? So we spend on social media doing this endless scrolling.
The doom
And so the idea
scrolling.
is to, yeah. So the idea is start deploying content, and we can discuss what type of content and what type of content at which stage of the buying cycle or the life cycle of the company. But the idea is to not only create content for brand awareness and for exposure, but also for conversion. And we know if it's done right, those conversions are much higher than the below 2%, the average conversion rate across any e-commerce website out there, unless you're Amazon, right? So social commerce, just to give you some data, what was like close to $2 trillion in 2024 all over the world. 2030 is going to be close to $9 trillion. That's about 20% of the overall retail and e-commerce business worldwide. So It's a major opportunity in the US. Most shoppers already purchased, like above 80%, already purchased something on social media. And at least, 80% of them are doing it at least once a week. So it's quite impressive. So the numbers are high, okay? And the numbers are high. We know that TikTok, for a fact, has transitioned from an entertainment platform to a search platform, but now it's a shopping platform. So the
Yeah, it's good.
primary effort is to be, shopping platform with TikTok Shop. And we see more and more advancement on YouTube side with digital shelf and the ability to click on a video player to purchase for certain creators at a certain size. And also a variety of functionalities that Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, are providing as well, just to enable the ability to create a smooth checkout, within their environment. So yeah, social commerce is just the biggest opportunities out there. And anyhow, you pay 30-40% on your ads, right? And you're going to pay much less if you do, for example, paying to affiliate on TikTok Shop, right? Or paying a creator or influencer on Instagram. So those rev shares are the same across the board, whether it's an advertising side or social commerce, but it gives you much more opportunity to sell. And again, it relates to the perfect timing for each company to do that. You can't do everything at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think social commerce in general is a massive opportunity. Like SEO for the last couple years, I'd say has been pretty wounded with like everything going on with AI,
Yeah.
to say the very least. But social, I've always thought, especially you can get the economics working with with paid plus content, it can be so powerful. So walk me through maybe, let's say I'm a new e-commerce entrepreneur, I have a product, I want to create a funnel of some kind of using these shoppable, videos using social commerce. What are an effective way for me to get into this without a big team or without a budget? Because I think a lot of people get very intimidated by doing
Yes.
video. Like even me doing these like talking head videos, like, oh man, is my hair okay? If it's not, I got a cow like this just like poking up out of here that I can't get rid of. But walk me through a bit of that process, what you'd recommend for entrepreneurs starting out.
Exactly. For people starting out, it can be like a new brand that you're launching or even a new product that you're launching from an existing brand. The first thing that you need to do is define your ideal customer profile, right? I mean, what are the ages, demographics, where they live? Maybe you don't know everything, but at least have some ideas, right? And by the way, you can do some experiments for a few months, right? Because eventually you need to know where your ideal customer profile definition, because you want to target them at the best social platform that is relevant for them, right? We know that Snap and TikTok, we know is Gen X, right? We see also millennials getting a lot of growth, right, in TikTok. We know that Instagram, Facebook is more millennials, right, Gen X, and YouTube is like everything, right? So we know that each one of those platforms has a certain demographics that are more relevant to attract and purchase behaviors as well, right? The TikTok is the audience like Gen X, they are very influenced by influencers, right? So, I mean, if their friend is recommending, if an influencer is recommending, it's better for them than any other recommendation from a brand itself. We know that influencer based content is much more effective than brand based content, like across the board throughout the entire, the researches that we always do. So yeah, once this strategy is defined, what we usually recommend is again to define where are you in the life cycle. If you're just starting out, let's say awareness stage, this is not the right time to start pitching your product because no one knows you, right? So you need to start building some confidence out there online to provide some educational content like market information, checklist, just to build trust through value of content that you are developing. And again, I'm not talking about these high production, polished videos. This is really not required. No one cares about your background. No one cares about, what people cares about is the value and the content that you provide. And just, your smartphone, good lighting, good audio can do the job. The name of the game here is authenticity, right? And there is an expansion that I want to add to authenticity, which is vulnerability. Okay, so don't be afraid to expose yourself. You get a lot of credits and points out there. A lot of brands are, that's built in public trend, right? That is just try to make things open and just make people more, resonating with you as a brand, because it's not about the mind, the thinking mind that we need to attract. We need to attract the emotions and the feelings people have towards us, like the sentiment. And the way to do that is just to being open and real human, right? And definitely on this first stage of awareness, just the realness, right? Just be you, be authentic is something that is very, very powerful, definitely for Gen Z, right? And When you are now in, let's say, consideration phase, where your shoppers are probably inclining or in a process of purchasing, but they are evaluating options, this is where you need to provide some comparison table, how to's, some case studies. Okay. And don't be afraid to mention your competition, because they know about your competition. They will search your competition. If you talk about your competition and what's your unique selling points and why you are better in your specific areas, then you gain a lot of credits from that. Okay, because it saves a lot of time for your shoppers. Even in blogs, right? Not related to video. It used to be those versus blogs,
Yep.
right? It
There's
used to be
many of
written by
those.
the affiliates primarily. Now they're written by the providers themselves. Right, so they mentioned all the competition, including links to their competition,
It's often
and
on
these are
the
the
footer of their website, right? So
yes, and these are the most successful, articles out there, right? Google like it a lot, right? And it's a change of shift, and yeah, it's better to be open and exposed than to be closed and keep everything to yourself, because it's very difficult to succeed in that way.
I agree.
And if you move on to the decision stage, right, when they're really
Mhm.
in a purchase mode, yeah, you talk about unique selling points, you talk about product reviews, prices, provide testimonials and promotions, and just put yourself out there with a more convertible type of content, shoppable video, live shopping. This will work very, very good once your audience is already warmed up.
I agree with everything you said there. I'm glad you brought up the emotion side. I work with a lot of like B2B stuff because I do M&A, right? And B2B people tend to be even more dry than other people, as you
Yeah.
may know, right? It's like, oh, that doesn't work in my niche, but like they forget, like, man, the guy that's buying your CRM or whatever, they're human. Like they have, emotions. And in my view, I don't think there's any purchasing decision, whether it's B2B or B2C, that happens without an emotional purchase first, right? I agree with pretty much everything you said, and like not needing to be polished or anything. Like I'm not a very polished individual. It's not like we get crazy amount of views on our YouTube either, but we done millions of dollars in revenue from on
Yeah.
disheveled Greg on YouTube talking about business, right?
Sure,
So I think a
sure.
lot of people intimidate themselves out of ever doing anything. But I want to click into what you just talking about with brand, or sorry, awareness, consideration, and decision, right? And I'm curious on your thoughts on this. So whenever I think about marketing, I think a lot of people make a mistake where they focus too much on top of funnel when they first begin, which is the awareness phase, right? Trying to get the eyeballs, which is great, but there's an infinite game to play there versus at the decision phase, the point of conversion is a finite game. There's only so many things, so many blog posts, or so many types of videos. So I usually recommend people to start there and maybe fuel that with ads first and just to see what
Mhm.
happens, right? So I'm curious on your thoughts there. Like when you were describing this, are you talking about, is that like an organic strategy, or would you recommend doing something more like what I'm talking about with both organic and paid? What are your thoughts?
Great question. So these are two valid approaches, right? So obviously, when I was describing that, I was primarily focused on the organic way of thinking. Obviously, with ads, you can just expedite the collection of data, right? Because
Yeah.
you have more eyeballs and more probably relevant eyeballs that are watching and give you some feedback. And if you are in this product market fit stage, it's a very quick way to just figure out how do you need to adapt, whether you need to be more flexible and just lose early or kill it or just adapt it, right? So like a lean startup type of mentality, right, is what I call this agile innovation mentality, right? You just throw something out there. It can be very, very minimal functionality for a very minimal audience, but you get the feedback. You quickly try to update and create those changes that are expected, like very, very fast on a daily basis, and just grow and expand with functionalities from there to the existing market that you already serve. So that's definitely two of those approaches are 100% valid. It's important just to figure out that probably that market research phase is something that you need to do, right? So we always, I mean, as founders, we are very confident and we can think we can conquer the world, and we know this is like the just brainstorming with ourselves so much and fully confident, but we still don't know the language. This word bank is unknown to us, and even if we think that we know the audience, we need to just communicate them specifically on that product that we try to push and get their feedback. So that market research stage is very important, and it can be done organically or it can be done with ads. But we organically, video is so powerful, right? Because video also provide us huge amount of data compared to any other form of media, written or spoken. And because we know how long they watch the video, from which
Mhm.
device, from which network, from which area, why they stop, why they started, when they continue rewind. I mean, we know a lot. And that this behaviors, if we take it to the right recommendation engine or an analytics or insights engine, gives us a lot of information how to take the next steps, right? And usually 2 to 3 months of consistent posting gives you enough information to know where you need to focus, whether it's a long form, whether it's live, whether it's short form. There's no way to know what will work for you. Even two identical brands with the same product serving the same customers, they have their shoppers, potential shoppers, buyers, they have different sentiments to them, and they are accepting different type of marketing. And you see, for one customer, for one brand, maybe short form video works very well, and maybe for the others it's like YouTube or live shopping or any other type of content that they're put out there. But those 3 months are like phase one. Okay, you need to be consistent. You need to have the right content planning based on your marketing funnel stages. And once you get there, you know what works. And Greg, you know how it works. It's not a linear growth, right?
Yeah.
It's just steady, nothing happens and suddenly you go like hockey stick viral, one
To
of them.
put that into context, you're a marketer, so you get it like I do, but a lot of non-marketers don't. So something happened at Empire Flippers just in the last 3 weeks. We started syndicating our YouTube channel, like our standalone talking head YouTube videos, onto our blog, and like had an AI do a summary of the video, so
Mm-hmm.
like a little bit of a blog post, right?
Sure.
And suddenly our organic traffic doubled. And like whenever I
Wow.
see anything that is working really well in marketing, I've been in the game long enough that my first reaction is like, what went wrong? Like there's something wrong. Are we getting attacked by bots? You know what's happening? Like I
Nice.
remember running a Facebook ad and the conversions were through the roof. Like I'm an ads god, but then I found out like our team had accidentally put the conversion like on the front page instead of the thank you page, right? So stuff like that, I'm always like paranoid about, right?
Nice.
But it turned out that yeah, those videos, the huge viral traffic, we just got picked up in Google Discovery, and it was massive. But yeah, like you said, is a bit of a desert. You keep on planting these seeds, and eventually something grows. And I feel like a lot of people are newbies to marketing don't realize that the vast majority of your job as a marketer is to fail so often. Eventually, you find those winners that you just
Exactly.
ride, right?
It's
So
just
yeah,
ongoing experimentation. This is marketing, right?
yeah. Are you very active in like the whole like marketing LinkedIn community,
Yes.
stuff like that? So I'm curious if you've had this similar experience as me then. I see a lot of like well-intentioned influencers on LinkedIn always talking about different marketing strategies, different things that they're doing, right? And I've tried to implement a few of them and they often turn out to be very bad. And I get into these arguments with them where they're like, no, it has to be ungated content or gated content or whatever. I just feel like so many people in that space, they're addicted to their own dogma in the sense that they don't test. Like I always tell people, the only thing that works in marketing is testing. Everything else is theory. What are your thoughts on something like that? Do you feel the same way with that crowd?
Yes, of course. I mean, a lot of things has changed, obviously, and LinkedIn is changing as well,
It
right? I
is.
mean, I don't think there is we are not in the world of gated, non-gated. Like the primary, I think, I don't know, I'd love to hear from you as well, but for me, the primary target, right, for any marketing that we do is just initiating discussions, like
Uh,
real meaningful discussions, right? And if you take someone to a gated content, no one cares. No one's filling out a form, just to get some kind of a PDF or anything. And again, this is something that we need to remember. So just put your content out there, right? I mean, if you have a product, then support content for related to the industry, related to your product, related to competition, whatever it is relevant. Yeah, keep it open and just having the ability for people to identify you as an expert or someone who understands, the domain, and they will reach out to you when needed, right? And it's very easy to attribute that activity to any type of a new lead or a new contact that is purchasing, unless other ways which are more complicated to attribute. But through content and definitely through video, you can differentiate. And LinkedIn is pushing video higher in the algorithms substantially right now. The whole interface has changed, right? So it looks like more like TikTok lately. And yeah, they're pushing the video very, very substantially. And it's again because they want to keep users on their platform,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're getting on this scrolling spree, right? Where algorithms is working for you. But I feel, LinkedIn is not the best in terms of having this immediate chat type of things. I mean, LinkedIn messaging is just, you're not communicating back and forth with someone on LinkedIn that often, right? It's just having a
Your chat
message here.
GPTs are.
Yeah. Like a Facebook Messenger is like WhatsApp, right? But
Yeah,
LinkedIn is more professional. But this is my belief. We don't have any gated content. Everything is open. And if people respect us, that we provide value, they will remember us when they need something.
I'm glad you brought up the gated thing because the part where I was talking about testing. So the thing is, I had the opposite experience. So I gated this industry report for years. I do or I used to do once every year. It was always very, very successful. And then I got onto the LinkedIn train and I produced it again, but I ungated it. It was the worst it's ever performed,
Yes.
as far as I know. So that's why I always go back to the testing framework,
Yeah.
right? Like what you said, what works for one brand, even the same niche, may not work for the other brand, right? But in general, I like ungated content. I'm not against it
Yes.
by any means.
I think, as I told you, LinkedIn has changed. LinkedIn was like an educational platform, not entertainment platform.
Right.
Okay, but this is, I think, changing very, very fast.
Oh, I
Right?
agree.
Because
I agree.
that educational content is not working anymore because there is like an overload, right?
Yeah.
Educational
I see all
content.
these shorts on LinkedIn now of people getting out of college and 5 reasons I can't find a job. They're just
Yeah,
super
that's
funny
funny.
now. So yeah, they're definitely praising that. I want to go back into the e-commerce world though, with what you're talking about. And I guess this works for LinkedIn too, I imagine, for my B2B friends, but you have a framework, right? So you have content, community, and commerce. So walk me through what each of these mean. I mean, I can kind of infer a bit, but talk to me a bit about
Mhm.
how you use this framework.
Yeah, so there is a new digital ecosystem that is getting a lot of traction. It's very, very powerful, which is content, community, and commerce, right? So you focus on content creation, video, primarily video. And video is very, very powerful to build trust, very, very fast compared to any other means because you can just post them all over the place in one click. So many platforms out there you can do that. Obviously, in Vimmi, you can do that as well. You create one video, it should be like 20 seconds, 30 seconds the first time that you do that, not more than that, because the algorithm respect the time people are watching your videos, right? So if it's 20 seconds and they watch like 20 seconds, it's much better than if your video is 60 seconds and people watch them for 20 seconds. This is not good for the algorithms, any algorithms out there.
Retention.
So viewing time is very, very powerful. This is why I focus on 20 seconds initially. It used to be 30 seconds, focus on 20 seconds. But yeah, you can create a lot of videos like that, just talking heads, right? It requires to use the right hook out there and trying to just differentiate yourself in a strong hook. And this is something you can learn, but anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. And it is very, very powerful if it comes from the founders themselves, right? Or the leaders or the executives that are out there as well. So yeah, short form video is where to start, is the way to go. But you had a question and I think I'm missing that. Can you repeat that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you made me think of another question, but my question was talking about your framework with
The three
content,
C's. So
community,
once you
commerce.
create content, you build the community. And the community is the very, very powerful thing because you build a tribe of followers in different stages of the funnel. Some of them you need to nurture, some of them are happy to purchase, and some of them we purchase in a 6 month, 9 month down the line and road, but you are engaged with them. Engage when they see you. If they don't click like, right? This is something that always tell founders and people, your content is being shown. Okay, people see your content. Like 90% of the people who see your content, they not engage with your content. They will never click like, they will never share, they will never comment. Yeah, like in LinkedIn, only 5% of people are posting. 5%, that's all, of people who are subscribed to LinkedIn. So, and I think it's the same in other platforms that most people are just watching, seeing, but they're not engaging, right? So keep posting. This is why it's so powerful. When you build a community, those tribes, you just keep, building relationships with them. They recommend it to their friends, and you have this like a network effect, this word of mouth that is so powerful. You just bring in more and more people into your community, and there will be your potential, buyers eventually. Now you can create a lot of content types, right? And maybe we can talk about that as well. But a lot of things are working, but you need to be consistent. Like consistency is the most important thing, right? If you think you can post, do a short on TikTok once a month, it has like zero effect,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You need to be committed. Like everyone is telling everyone, you need to be committed with SEO, right? It's 9 months, 12 months. But here you need to committed, not 12 months. 6 months is good. 3 months is fine, but it gives you a lot of traction. I saw businesses, they're just transforming within 1 month, right? Like their sales increase 50% because of the fact that they start creating short form videos, right? I can tell you like an example. I cannot mention the name, but it's a furniture company. Think about it, furniture company. They opened a TikTok. They posted on TikTok. They also have TikTok shop. They had zero sales on TikTok. They started like 2.5 years ago. It was like new for it's like 4 figures items, right? Big thing. And they did those short form videos, but their overall company sales skyrocketed like 50%. And they can 100% attribute that to those, 100 TikTok videos that they did. They had zero sales on TikTok shop, but people purchased their products because they knew how to find the website. They knew how to reach out to them offline and online. And this has like a huge, crazy effect on their business. This is one of the things that you ask again, like you ask, what's happened? Something went wrong, right? But if we can show them that those 100 videos, that by the way, we gave them training and they did all of them by themselves, like the 3 founders. And it was so powerful that it creates a huge impact on their overall business. So yeah, that's the community part. So once you create content, you build a community of followers. They are existing and future potential buyers. Then you bring the commerce part, as we just discussed before. So content builds community, communities create sales, builds the businesses. And through these type of activities, the fuel that drives all these what we call new digital way of doing things is by having the video as a cornerstone for everything that you do. And we know, if you ask me what a new brand needs to do when they launch these days, don't build a Shopify, just go open a TikTok shop. It's the most
skip
yeah
the middleman, basically. Go right.
By the way, I want to tell you, for the last 5 years, like outside of the US and Europe, like in Asia, any new company that is just launching, they launch on TikTok. They don't launch.
Oh yeah. So I live in Vietnam. I'm in Vietnam right now.
Yeah.
It's very rare to find Vietnamese like with a e-commerce store. Like they do exist, obviously,
but a much later stage.
Yeah.
Because TikTok brings you customers. They bring you the customers through the affiliate marketplace and through the way you can promote your products. And obviously with the fulfilled by TikTok, that's on the operational side and warehousing side of things and shipping. But in terms of marketing, is the most powerful thing that you can do right now.
I agree. So my other question that you inspired me to ask, which is probably like, first of all, like what you just mentioned is both one of the most beautiful and most annoying parts of content, is that it's very hard to attribute, because once you get going, it's just like they're going down, like you said, a non-linear path, circling around. You don't know like which thing pops exactly. You have some idea, but you don't exactly know. It's not like one-to-one. That's also one of the beauties of it, because it sticks in their mind, right? But my question for you on the content side, we have a lot of people come on this podcast talk about just make great content, right? And make valuable content. But what does that actually mean? I feel like that's a thing a lot of the audience are hungry for. Like, I want to make valuable content, but what does that even look like?
Great. So, I mean, any type of content should have some kind of a storytelling or, entertainment type of content, right? I mean, just providing this educational content is not working anymore. There's a flood of, I think mainly due to AI, that can recommend easy top 5 things to do this or top 10 to do that. And these are not working anymore. So let me give you just a few examples of content, right? You can write, for example, a transformational story, right? Why you decided to launch this brand. So what is your personal story? Where you started, what happened? What was the aha moment? Okay, and then describe what you're doing right now and why and who do you serve. Just having this perspective of your background, where you're coming from, is a major issue, right? For the listeners and for the viewers who watch that, that's a very, very powerful thing. And I'm going to throw out here like variety of content types, okay?
Sure.
Another content type is like what we call a value post, right? Which can be like a quick win or a clarification of something. So quick win for you as a brand or a founder, or a quick win for one of your customers that purchased your product and had this aha moment there and a quick win. This is very, very powerful as well. You can have like a call to action post, right? From time to time, you want to say, hey, I'm in this business, I'm doing this and this, I'd love to work with this and this people, reach out if we can work together. You need to just expose yourself out there and just saying what exactly that you want. Okay, another type of post is a belief shifting post. Now, the origin of writing all those posts is from good analysis of the objections that you're going to get in your buying cycle whenever you talk to customers. So you can create a list of all the objections, okay, and just do a belief shifting post of one of the objections. Okay, so shift their false belief on something. And if you do this type of post, next time they talk to you, they don't have that objection anymore because you already answered. Okay. Another post can be like a celebration post. It usually work very well on weekends. People, our energy is, getting higher and higher. The body is just circulating differently. And you can do it like a celebration post, something from you as a brand, from you as a founder, your clients, some great results, that you can share. Okay. Another type of post is lifestyle, family time, hobbies, personal growth, like variety of things that are related to you as a person. Remember, our main task is to build those communication channels, to start building a relationship with people, right? So they need to know you, that you're not an AI avatar, right?
Unless you're doing that. There's actually a
Yeah.
YouTube channel I like watching who
Yeah.
plays into the fact that he's an AI avatar like hard, but
Yeah.
it's like part of the joke because he's reporting
Yes.
on AI.
By the way, this has a place in overall marketing. Maybe we can talk about that as well, and something we do also do at Vimmi, but not at the beginning, and not. It's just a supportive type of content, right, for your main content. So
Yeah.
yeah, just what we call also two-step post is when you hand over some kind of a freebie. Okay, so you just write something and you don't ask for fill out a form or anything. You said, hey, I just wrote, like for example in your report, I just wrote this report. Anyone who's interested, just type me or something like that. So you get
Oh yeah.
quick attention. It's two letters people are typing. It works very well on email, by the way. Okay, and cold email. You want to reach out. People don't schedule clicking on links or schedule meetings, but maybe they want something which is very specific for them, right? And so they will say yes. Like in our case, for example, we send out email and we say, hey, we can show you how auto DM checkout works on your content and products. Just tap yes, and we will send you this. And many type yes, and we send them an Instagram account, a Facebook account with their own content and videos, and we can show them how they can create quick checkout through auto DM, right? And these kind of things are working very well. So this is the two-step process. So you can just keep rolling with this type of videos, with this type of content, like an endless loop. Okay, but this gives a good amount of information, which is both personally as you as a person, right? And this can be repeated by leaders in the company, right? So EGC versus UGC, like UGC, user generated content
Mhm.
created by influencers, content creators, is very powerful. EGC is employee generated content, which is even more powerful today. Again, just think about a brand that is the CMO, the head of e-commerce, and the CEO, finance. Just keep throwing out 20 seconds pieces of content in a very smart way based on the strategy that I've outlined. This has a snowball impact on everything on marketing, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
these are the type of the content post
I
that
have tried to get our employees at EF to do more and more content. Like, if you want to be a bit of an influencer, we'll like share it to our audience. But it is tough to get employees to do that.
stuff. Yeah, but you need to incentivize them to do that. You need to
Yeah.
incentivize,
Yeah.
like on retail. Think about retailers, right? Today, you can have a retailer go live, for example, from the store, from the shop itself, and just sell things online, right?
Yeah.
And some of them are very, very good at it. We tested a lot. Most of them sucks, right? They don't know how to sell online
Yeah.
because you need to sell to a camera. There is no human being. Some of them are very, very good at it. And if you incentivize them in the right way, okay, based on the sales that they're performing online, they will be like very, very successful for themselves and for the company.
Yeah.
So I think incentive plans should change. By the way, CMO job description should change. It requires to create content. It's a fundamental requirement, right? And this is why I see, all the people, like all these young generation are starting to, companies position them in such an executive role without any experience, right? Because they have a tribe, they are creating content. It's very, very powerful, right? They don't have the knowledge about, running teams like, the Gen X's, let's say, or millennials, but they bring very, very important other things into the table, which are very, very powerful and what's important for companies today.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. I've been in marketing now for about 10 years, and I've always done that. I started off as a
Mhm.
content marketer, like a blogger, basically, right?
Wow.
Which that is dying with the AI world. Still could be good, but we switched more into podcasting and video. Like the whole reason I even started doing the podcast here is, our founders used to do it, and then they kind of, how it goes. They get busy, distracted, don't want to do it anymore, and I
Sure.
saw like, okay, well, someone needs to do it, so I got in there and did it. And now my buddy,
Amazing.
he's the CEO now, and I'm trying to get him to be more like out there, because I told him like, man, the moment you start doing content is going to work way better than any content I can do. No one wants to talk to the director of marketing. Everyone wants to talk to the CEO, right? So, and the moment
Yeah,
he
but
updated his LinkedIn to CEO, he started getting like hit up for like content collabs, stuff like that, right? Like, I told you,
yeah.
man. But going back to this whole thing on content itself, I like that you gave those types of content. If someone wanted to speed this up, so you mentioned 3 months in terms of like a good college try in organic. And speaking of that, you mentioned being consistent. And I think one thing that I don't want my audience to lose on, while I agree with you on consistent, it also needs to be a bit of massive action, right? Like if you're only doing one video a month, it'll take you years before you even know if anything works, right? Like
Yeah.
we set up our cold email campaign, and the guy who works for me, he was originally setting it up. He's like, all right, now we can send out 200 emails a month. I'm like, this is not enough. We need to send out 30,000 a month. You're like, what?
Maybe
Like,
you meant
yes.
100,000. Yeah, that's probably the right number.
Like everyone always underestimates the amount you need. So what would be your advice, knowing that you need to be consistent, but you also need to do enough to actually have potential to have good data? What would you say is that sweet spot? Like how much people should be publishing, and how do they design their system to be able to do that?
So the easiest way is to start with short form videos, right? And don't look at the data too much, in the first weeks. Just post out there. Focus on like customer pains, right? Create a list of 50 pains that your customers are facing. If you don't know to create a list of 50 pains, you're in the wrong business.
You gotta go back to
Okay,
the research, yeah.
right? Start with like 50 pains that your customers are experiencing. And yeah, create just content that is answering any one of those pains from your own personal experience. And this is in a tip. Okay. Like a good hook is a pain hook. Okay. It is very, very powerful. And then the second phase should be your own personal experience and what do you recommend that has worked for you. These are very, very powerful type of content ideas. And just if you create 50 type of content and you post them every day, right, you have like more than 2 months already, enough of content. And just do a batch work, right? And just create. The way I do that is, okay, there are a few ways to do that, right? Just create a list of questions, right? And you have everything on top of your head because you know everything, or just write small bullets, just a reminders, and just open the camera and just film yourself for a couple of hours. Okay, you can stop, you can go back, and that's enough because these are like 20 seconds. And give someone just the ability to edit them professionally. What I mean professionally is I don't mean about just now overlays and emojis. No one cares about that. No, right? So just captions are important. Like the audio should be very, very high quality, and just have the cut to cut, versions at the right time. That's it. Good hook, some storytelling, what works for you. That's it. And you can just do that in one day, just creating the whole content for the next quarter.
I think what the first part you said there, I think is the most important part for someone getting started, which is just do the thing and don't look at the data. I think people worry too much about it. Like, do not care. Like, the only goal you should have is to hit the quantity number. You
Yes.
can figure out
Yes.
quality later, right?
Yes.
No one's going to remember
Exactly.
your first 100 videos anyway.
Exactly. Focus on the quantity. Now, the easiest way to do that, because if you put any of those CEOs, if you put your CEOs right now in front of a customer, is they're going to kill it, right? Is very good in pitching, is very good in everything. So I like to tell them, hey, use this type of mentality when you're creating content. And now, what is a nicer way to do that? Have someone from your team create a list of questions, right? And block like a couple of hours or 1 hour and let them ask you, go on a Riverside or a Zencaster or Zoom, whatever. Just have them ask you the questions and reply. Okay. What you need to do is reply the question technically. That's it.
Yep.
So you can have the hook. So if someone is asking you a question, you just repeat the question and quickly answer. And then you move on to the next question, next question.
We've used that trick specifically at times because someone on the team was too stiff without like the person there. So we did
Mm-hmm.
it just like a normal podcast and, got rid of me.
Yes.
Just kept them with the answers, right?
Yeah.
And
And
psychologically trick them into just acting normal.
yeah, this creates huge amount of content. And by the way, start recording all the calls, definitely in the internal
Oh, yeah.
calls and external calls. You can have huge amount of assets, right? And get the customer approval. And you can post short form videos. There are various tools out there to create short form videos in a very intelligent way. And just be consistent and just, the mass. If you post 100 videos per month, it's amazing. If you post 300 videos per month, it's 10 times more effective.
It's
The
10 times more
quantity,
amazing.
yeah, the quantity has a huge effect of what's happening here.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you expedite? Through AI. And this is where here how to smartly use AI, right? Because you can go to so many of those tools, right? And you can create an AI avatar of yourself. By the way, today you can just drop a YouTube link or a TikTok link or Instagram link, and that's it. And then you can just paste the text and it creates the video.
Dude,
Easy.
we just literally did that. I was short
Yeah.
on time, ironically, to make shorts. I was like, all right, you know what? One of my buddies, he's replaced himself completely with AI on long form video, which like
Hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that yet. But I thought like, well, shorts, maybe it can work where it's like it stays coherent enough with like my voice. So we just tested it out, I think, with like 5 shorts, and they're performing better than like actual me. So I just sent a message to my buddy, the CEO today, like, dude, the dead internet is real. So yeah, I do think you shouldn't go straight to the AI tools until you do it manually and get like a vibe for it and get like kind of used to it. Because if you just like, it's similar with ChatGPT. If you just put something in to write a blog post, but you don't know anything about like how to make a good blog post, like it's going to just come out like slop. So I think there is
It's
still a lot of value to doing it yourself. But yeah, I think using AI
yeah.
as support's great.
But again, the most important thing is the value of the content that you
Absolutely.
put out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if people say, okay, I think it's an AI avatar, but hey, this was very, very smart thing, I think I'm okay with that as a viewer,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And by the way, I see a lot of those long form videos. I can see there are AI avatars. For me, maybe it's easier to quickly, figure this out because I'm like watching video all the time and creating, but I don't care too much because the content is so valuable and so smart, and it just answered a specific question that I have right now. Now, YouTube is different than all the other networks because YouTube is an educational platform. You go there, you search, and you're looking for a specific answer for something. TikTok, Instagram, these are more entertainment. You're not searching, you're just swiping, right? And then if you see something which is disturbing, you have zero tolerance for that. So it's a very different type of mindset that you are experiencing. Is it a lean back type of experience or a lean forward type of experience, right?
Or with the AI on YouTube, is it just me putting the YouTube link into ChatGPT? Hey, summarize this video for me, which that's also becoming a thing. But
Yeah.
hey, we're coming up towards the end of the podcast, but I want to get into the rapid fire section. But before we do, I have another question for you. We've been talking a lot about like kind of the psychology of it, which I think is great. But from a tracking perspective, like a KPI perspective, what would you tell brands like as they're starting this journey, like what kind of KPIs should they be measuring with their video marketing campaigns, knowing that like a lot of their customers, like that furniture person, may have seen their videos, but their actual conversion happened somewhere else, so it might not be counting towards the video, right? So how do we square this away from a tracking perspective?
Yeah, it's a good question. So obviously all these platforms are providing very, very good analytics about everything that is happening. And some of them are even recommending you exactly what to do next. Like in terms of scripting,
Like that link in
backgrounds,
the Vimmi
lighting.
video.
Yeah, you can just they tell you, hey, this is your next video. Okay. Like if you go to YouTube Studio, it will tell you what's working and what's not and what you need to do right now. It's very, very powerful. Just give you everything ready. Just do it. Okay. So yeah, you need to aggregate the data and just check what's happening. And you need to watch the first and foremost. I mean, the highest priority is the watching time, right? Out of your entire, like percentage wise. If it dropped at 30%, it's really, really bad. Shorten the videos. Make sure they are somewhere between 70% up. Because if they are at 70% up, the algorithms will continue to promote your video to other audiences. They start with a very small sample group
Mhm.
Usually when you post like 50 to 100, and if it's not resonating well, they stop, they kill it. This is why you see a lot of videos are you stopped at like the 200 views. Like 200 is like a goal, a magic number, that if you have been able to, to pass it, then everything opens to you, right? So shorter videos at the beginning, make sure people are watching it to the end. Just in your hook, or try to think about something that you will provide at the end of the video, like that recommendation, what to do, as I explained before, like the hook, the storytelling, like my personal experience, and what worked for me. What worked for me is like the way I resolved that specific issue,
Hmm.
that specific pain that I'm talking about. This comes at the end, like it's the last 5 seconds, and people will stay there to watch. Okay, and try to reach that. This is just to focus on that one item. How many of those people are just watching your entire videos? This is like the gold mine of all content creation, right now on social media. And definitely need to shorten the length. Do those videos like 20 seconds, not more than that, and just follow the structure and things will work for you. It's not a question of if it will work for you. The benefits are overwhelming. Okay, it's 100% going to be beneficial. And if you improve that, and over time, beyond that first quarter, if you start more professionally, add more content types, like with AI, long form, live, then the compounding effect of all these experiences is going to be dramatic on your business. And we see that working all the time. Those who are not succeeding with video is because they stopped.
Yeah,
That's
I
it. Oh,
agree with all of
yeah.
that. I think retention is. I mean, I feel like you're personally attacking me because our retention is pretty bad. I've had
I
I'm not
know
getting
it's
really
not
spoken
easy.
about it, but
It's
it's
not
yeah,
easy,
very
but
difficult. But I
yeah,
do agree that's like the most important thing. If they're not staying to the end, they're not even seeing the CTA, right? So
sure.
okay, well, we're coming up on time, so I want to get into the rapid fire section here. So I'm going to ask you three quick questions, and you give me three quick answers. Are you ready?
I hope so.
All right, no pressure, Matt. No pressure. All right, first question. What is the best hidden growth opportunity when it comes to using video in social commerce?
Sorry, hitting growth.
Yeah, it's something that people don't normally think about.
Yeah, it's like the editing, and don't focus on post production editing. Don't focus too much time on filming. Spend more time on preparation. Like initially, we used to spend, I know it's a quick answer, but it's an important topic. Like 3 years ago, we used to spend 20% on preparation, 20% on filming, right? And 60% on editing videos. Now it's like the other way around, 60% on research and trying to figure out what's to create content, 20% of filming, 20% using AI for editing, right? So just focus on research, don't care too much about how your video, looks at the end in terms of polished, type of content, good audio and authenticity
Yeah.
works.
Ironically, being polished is almost a detriment sometimes, depending on your niche.
Yeah.
Unpolished
Yeah.
oftentimes works a lot better.
No, there is a growing market there that when they see it's too polished, they just swipe up. It's
Too
not for
corporate.
them.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
polished. Yeah, it's
yeah,
too overdone, right? There's some, they're hiding some secrets.
yeah, for sure. What tools or resources would you recommend for people to optimize their video marketing?
Yeah, so focus on products, like focus on tools. There are so many tools out there that can create like UGC content. There are tools today that you can upload a product picture and use you as an AI avatar, and you can create like a UGC type explaining the video, showcase it in 3D. It's so powerful. It's really amazing. It's like very cheap as well, right? So you can, again, not as your main vehicle, right, for creating content, but as a support of just expanding and increasing capacity. It's very, very powerful.
Right.
If you do prompting correctly, based on those 50 points, write the structure of the post, of the content that we said, like hook, storytelling, tip, personal story, right? And let's ask ChatGPT just to create all those scripts. And this is just expediting content ideas, and you can just quickly do that and focus on speed. Better done than perfect. Don't spend too
Absolutely.
much time on procrastinating or overthinking about it. Just do it.
And of course, another tool I'd recommend is Vimmy. I didn't hear you mention that one, so yeah.
Yeah. Yours,
That's the
yours.
self promotional question.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
all right, my final question for you, my man, and likely the hardest. What has been your funniest moment working in the whole social commerce world since you started?
Funny. Yeah, that's You get a lot of hate sometimes. You get a lot of negative, um, feedbacks and comments, and you just need to learn to ignore them, right? And it doesn't matter who you are and what you do. There are always people who think, differently, and maybe you're touching a nerve, or maybe it hit their business in any way that they're quite active in trying to be negative. So the main thing is just ignore them and just continue. Don't let anything stop you from putting yourself out there and put your word out.
So your funniest moment is laughing at the people who send you negative comments.
Exactly. So I
like
just smile. No, I just smile. I just smile.
Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, man. I really enjoyed this conversation. Hopefully, you did as well. But for my audience out there that is curious about you, about Vimmi, maybe they want to explore doing more video for their own e-commerce brands, or maybe even a B2B brand. Where's the best place for them to follow you or hit you up?
Yeah. So we have a free for life package on vimmi.net. It's vimmi.net. We can help you with anything video related, not just making videos shoppable, go live with video, enable social commerce through video, but we can also help you with content creation through influencers on TikTok, on Instagram, but also AI video creation. So we just open a new video creation service unit that helps a lot both with technology and servicing. It's a kind of technology human process just to increase capacity of content creation. So vimmi.net. I'm also very active on LinkedIn. It's Eitan Koter, Eitan Koter. It's the best place to learn more about what we do, what's happening with the video marketing as a general, in the market right now.
Awesome. Well, we'll put all those links down below. So anyone that wants to check out what they're doing, go ahead and check out the show description. But with that said, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Great questions. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
There you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it got you inspired at all the different things that are happening in this industry. And of course, if you just want to buy a highly profitable business, you can always go to empireflippers.com/marketplace, or maybe you want to make an exit of your highly profitable business, and you could go to empireflippers.com/sell your site. I've been your host, Greg. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a review, give us a like, a follow, share it across social media. Talk to you all soon. See you on the next episode.